Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Well, we got a lot of things to talk about. Thanks, Paul. And we are talking about Antonio Brown, the NFL playoffs. That's high on the list tonight. So give us a call on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. 412-575-2600 is the number. If you want to talk about the Penguins, they're getting ready to start out in Los Angeles. A big comeback win last night for the Pens. Jake Guentzel with the hat trick, his second this year, his first of 2019 and his third overall. The scoring was led by Guentzel. Also, Evgeny Malkin had 4 points last night. And the Stars came out, and Anaheim suffered its 10th straight loss. Pens were down 3-0 in that game, and all of a sudden it was tied at 3. They were down to 4-3, and then ended up winning 7-4 last night. So a big win for the Pens, who have won 10 of their last 11 games. Matt Murray, by the way, has won 9 straight, ties a career-long win streak for him. So the Pens are playing some of the best hockey in the NHL right now, and this is a team that, you know, I liked at the beginning of the season to go back to the Stanley Cup. I thought this was the team to beat. If you have a healthy Matt Murray, you have an inspired team led by Sidney Crosby, who's still, I think, the best player in hockey right now all around, the guy that I would want on my team. And then you have Evgeny Malkin. You need 3 lines. I mean, and you got Phil Kessel, too. He's like the X factor. I would give Phil Kessel whatever he wants. Put him on a line with Evgeny Malkin if he wants that. You got to get Derek Brassard going a little bit. You know, I would imagine that the Penguins would make some kind of move before the trade line. I don't know if it's going to be a big move, but they're going to make a move. And this is a no doubt Stanley Cup contender from what we've seen. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of that 08 season. And I talked a little bit about it on the show a while ago. I said, don't panic, because you know, when they were going through their troubles earlier in the year for the first 15, 20 games, they were still not as bad as that 2008 team. By the way, the 2008 team went to the Stanley Cup Finals and lost to Detroit. So I figured they would be in good shape. This is a team that turns it on late December and January, and that's what they did. It's such a long season, and you're a team like the Penguins that kind of just goes through the motions, I think, and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. We're not a team that's supposed to lose, you know, 7 straight games or 10 out of 11 or whatever it was back then. You turn it on, and that's exactly what they did. Unfortunately, a team like the Steelers could not turn it on, and they're out of the playoffs. Antonio Brown is up to his latest Instagram posts. He was live again today on Instagram and talked a little bit about how he thinks the Steelers should be in the playoffs, but also how he's ready to talk about what happened. I think at this point, you know, this relationship is broken. I don't know if it can be fixed. And you see these reports out there, and you hear things from inside the Steelers that they're definitely looking to trade him. They won't cut him. They're definitely looking to trade him. But they're not going to just give him away just because he's unhappy. That is not the case. If they don't get a large ransom for this guy, he's not going anywhere. That's my opinion. That's what I think. That's what I'm hearing. You know, you know, Ian Rappaport put something out there today saying that, oh, they could get a second rounder for him, a second and third. I don't think the Steelers would go for a second rounder. I think they're looking for a first rounder. That's what Amari Cooper got in return. Antonio Brown is the best one out there, and I think there'll be teams out there that are close. And here's my team that I think that would go after him. Has a lot of cap room. The Colts, they're 1 or 2 players away. Imagine him out there with Hilton. You know, that's a team that could go after Le'Veon Bell too. Think about Andrew Luck with those weapons. Now that all of a sudden that team, if they could somehow get Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, then all of a sudden, or one of those guys, then all of a sudden they're Super Bowl favorites. No question about it. And they lost to the Chiefs today. But this is a team that has some weapons. This is a team that's close. They got hot at the right time this year, made it into the postseason. And I think they're 1 or 2 players away, and 1 or 2 players could be Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. They got the cap room to do it. The other report out there was the Jets are definitely interested in doing something or trying to work out a trade for Antonio Brown. Now, it would be good for a team like the Jets. I don't think they're close, but you would get some attention. He would get attention going to a team like New York. So would Le'Veon Bell. And if you could get those 2 team guys together again, then you know, all of a sudden you make a team that goes from being one of the last place teams to one of the first place teams. So, you know, anything can happen. But I think whatever happens, the Steelers are in control of this one, you know, because Antonio Brown is 100% going to play. He's not going to do what Le'Veon Bell did. There's no question he would not do that. There's no doubt about that. He needs the money. He wants the money. He's spending the money already. And so he's already counting on that money. So he's not going to just not show up. That's not going to happen with Antonio Brown. And another team would want him because it's really a friendly deal for a guy like him. I think he's averaging like $12 million a year for the next 3 years. The Steelers already took care of that big signing bonus, and you know, he would average somewhere around the $17 million mark. But you know, the Steelers have paid a lot of that already in a form of a signing bonus. So I'm sure a team would go out and get him, but want him. But I think the Steelers want a first rounder. And I think you'll start to maybe hear some trade rumors, talks between the Steelers around the Combine, which is towards the end of February. Because you got to remember that new league starts at the beginning of March, and they have 5 days before they have to pay him $2.5 million. So I think the new league year starts on March 8th, and they have 5 years, so that would put you at the 5 days. That puts you at the 13th before they owe him a $2.5 million roster bonus. And if you're going to trade him, you don't want to pay him that $2.5 million. So I would imagine that trade is going to get done before that March 13th date. I think that's the date. I'll have to double check it. It's one of those. It's early on in March, but. We could talk about Antonio Brown. That's the hot topic right now. 412-575-2600 is the number. The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We'll be right back.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to Ireland Contracting, putting new roofs on Pittsburgh homes for over 25 years. Call Ireland Contracting at 1-800-NEW-ROOF.